Charlie was a curious and adventurous 8-year-old boy who lived in a small countryside town. His family owned a beautiful farm on the outskirts of the town, where they grew crops and raised livestock. The farm was vast, with acres of land stretching as far as the eye could see. One sunny afternoon, while Charlie's parents were busy attending to their chores, Charlie decided to explore the farm on his own. He had always been fascinated by the vastness and mysteries of the farm, and today was the perfect day for a little adventure. He walked through the fields, the tall golden wheat brushing against his small frame. The air was filled with the sweet scent of nature, and the distant sound of birds chirping provided a soothing melody. Charlie's heart was filled with excitement as he imagined all the hidden treasures he might discover. As he strolled further into the farm, Charlie stumbled upon an old barn. Its wooden walls were weathered, and the entrance creaked ominously as he pushed it open. Inside, he found a dusty old trunk that seemed untouched for years. Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to pry it open. To his surprise, the trunk contained a collection of antique toys. There were porcelain dolls with faded dresses, a rusty train set, and a wooden rocking horse that seemed to have weathered the test of time. Charlie's eyes gleamed with excitement as he imagined the stories and adventures these toys had witnessed. Lost in his thoughts, Charlie didn't notice that the sun was slowly setting, casting long shadows across the farm. He closed the trunk, deciding to return to it another day. But as he turned to leave the barn, a chilling wind swept through, extinguishing the warm glow of sunlight. Charlie felt a sudden unease creep over him. The farm, once filled with beauty and wonder, now seemed unfamiliar and foreboding. He quickened his pace, wanting to find his way back to the safety of his home. But as he walked, he realized he had lost his way. Panic set in, and he began to call out for his parents. "Mom, Dad." Charlie's voice echoed through the silent fields, but there was no response. The only reply he received was the haunting whisper of the wind, carrying his voice away into the night. Just when despair threatened to consume him, Charlie noticed a flickering light in the distance. It was the farmhouse. Relief washed over him, and he hurried toward it, hoping to find his parents waiting for him inside. But as Charlie approached the farmhouse, his heart sank. The once warm and welcoming home now stood empty and desolate. The windows were shattered, and the door hung open, swinging eerily in the wind. Fear gripped Charlie's heart as he stepped inside. Charlie cautiously entered the farmhouse, his footsteps echoing through the empty rooms. The air felt heavy with a sense of abandonment and something else he couldn't quite put his finger on. Shadows danced on the walls, cast by the dim moonlight seeping through the broken windows. "Mom, Dad?" Charlie called out again, his voice trembling. Still, there was no response. It was as if the farmhouse held its breath, waiting in silence. With a trembling hand, Charlie reached for a nearby flashlight and switched it on, illuminating the path before him. He made his way through the eerie house, searching for any sign of his missing parents. Every creak of the floorboards and every gust of wind rattling the broken shutters seemed to amplify his growing unease. As Charlie entered the kitchen, he froze in his tracks. On the worn wooden table, he noticed a crumpled note. With trembling hands, he picked it up and read the hastily scrawled words. "Charlie, if you ever want to see your parents again, come to the old oak tree near the farthest corner of the farm. Come alone." Fear mingled with determination in Charlie's young heart. He had to find his parents, no matter the risk. Clutching the note tightly, he made his way back outside into the darkness, guided by the moonlight. The night was enveloping the farm, its shadows growing deeper and more sinister. Charlie navigated through the familiar fields, now transformed into a labyrinth of uncertainty. The sound of his own heartbeat filled his ears as he approached the old oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching out like twisted fingers. Under the tree, a small opening in the ground caught Charlie's attention. Hesitant but resolute, he knelt down and peered inside. It was a hidden passage, leading into the depths of the earth. A shiver ran down his spine, but he knew he had to venture forth. With his flashlight in hand, Charlie descended into the darkness. The narrow passageway seemed to stretch on forever, his steps echoing ominously. Thoughts of his parents propelled him forward, overcoming his fear inch by inch. Finally, the passage opened up into a cavernous underground chamber. Charlie's heart sank as he beheld a chilling sight. His parents were bound and gagged, their eyes filled with relief and terror at the sight of their son. Before he could react, a sinister figure stepped forward from the shadows. It was a tall, gaunt man with hollow eyes and a twisted smile. He introduced himself as Mr. Jenkins, a former farmhand who had been dismissed by Charlie's parents years ago. Mr. Jenkins held a grudge, blaming Charlie's family for his misfortunes. He had plotted his revenge meticulously, luring Charlie into the farm and using him as leverage to force his parents to suffer. Now, Charlie, Mr. Jenkins sneered, you have a choice. You can join your parents in their fate, or you can disappear forever, never to return. Fear and determination warred within Charlie. He couldn't let his parents suffer, but he couldn't bear the thought of abandoning them either. He looked into his parents' eyes, silently promising to find a way to save them. Just as Mr. Jenkins advanced towards Charlie, a loud siren pierced the air, followed by the sound of police cars screeching to a halt outside. The authorities had been alerted to the suspicious activities on the farm, and help had arrived just in time. In the chaos that ensued, Charlie's parents were freed, and Mr. Jenkins was apprehended. Tears of relief and joy streamed down Charlie's face as he embraced his parents, grateful to be reunited and safe once again. But as they left the farm behind, the shadows seemed to whisper a chilling reminder. The farm held secrets, and its dark past would forever be etched in Charlie's memory. Ethan had always been fascinated by the countryside. He loved the vast green fields, the smell of freshly cut hay, and the quiet serenity that enveloped the farms. So when he inherited his grandparents' old farmstead, he couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with trepidation. Little did he know that his idyllic dream would soon turn into a nightmare. As Ethan arrived at the farm, he was greeted by a dilapidated house and overgrown fields. He took a deep breath, determined to restore the place to its former glory. But as he delved deeper into the farmhouse, strange occurrences began to unfold. Late one night, while exploring the attic, Ethan discovered a faded photograph of his grandparents standing in front of the barn. It was taken on their wedding day, but something about the barn in the background sent chills down Ethan's spine. The barn seemed eerie, as if it held a dark secret within its weathered walls. Driven by curiosity, Ethan ventured out to the barn the following day. As he stepped inside, an icy draft swept over him, and the air felt heavy with an indescribable presence. Shadows danced on the walls, and the floor creaked beneath his feet. It was as if the barn itself was alive, whispering secrets that only the wind could hear. Ethan's determination to uncover the truth grew stronger with each passing day. He spent countless hours researching the farm's history and discovered a series of unsettling events. Rumors whispered of a dark chapter in the farm's past, involving a missing family and unexplained tragedies. The farm seemed to be cursed, and Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that the curse still lingered. One evening, as Ethan dug through old newspaper clippings, he stumbled upon an article detailing a fire that had engulfed the barn many years ago. The fire claimed the lives of a young couple and their 2 children. Ethan's heart sank as he realized that the barn he had ventured into was the same one that had burned to the ground all those years ago. Haunted by the tragic story, Ethan vowed to find closure for the spirits that lingered on the farm. He sought out a local historian who revealed a chilling legend about a hidden room within the barn. The room was said to contain clues that would unlock the secrets of the farm and release the trapped souls. With newfound determination, Ethan returned to the barn and began his search for the hidden room. He tore through rotting boards and moved stacks of hay, never once questioning his sanity. As he neared the breaking point, A small wooden door revealed itself behind a pile of debris. It was the entrance to the hidden room. As Ethan stepped inside, the air grew frigid, and the room seemed suspended in time. The walls were adorned with faded photographs of the family that perished in the fire. Ethan's heart raced as he realized that the room was a shrine to their memory. Suddenly, a gust of wind extinguished the lantern he carried, plunging the room into darkness. Panic welled up within him as he fumbled for the matches in his pocket. Just as he struck a match, a voice whispered in his ear, "You've unleashed us, Ethan." Ethan's hand trembled as he held the flickering match, his eyes darting around the room. The voice echoed in his mind, sending shivers down his spine. He knew he had stumbled upon something far more sinister than he could have ever imagined. With the match now ablaze, Ethan's trembling hand revealed the full extent of the hidden room. A dusty wooden chest sat in a corner, beckoning him closer. As he approached, a cold gust of wind swept through the room, carrying with it a chilling whisper, "Release us, Ethan. Only then will you find peace." Fear and curiosity battled within Ethan's mind. Should he proceed and unlock the chest, potentially releasing the spirits that haunted the farm? Or should he turn away, leaving the secrets of the farm forever buried within the confines of the hidden room? Driven by a mixture of determination and a desire for closure, Ethan took a deep breath and opened the chest. Inside, he found a collection of old letters, a journal, and a small key. He carefully examined the contents, his heart pounding with anticipation. The letters revealed a tale of love, betrayal, and despair. They chronicled the tragic events leading up to the fire that had consumed the farm. Ethan's grandparents had been involved in a bitter dispute with their neighbors, the Tremonts, over land rights. The tension had escalated, resulting in a heated confrontation that ended in tragedy. The journal belonged to Ethan's grandmother, and it chronicled her pain and guilt over the events that unfolded. She blamed herself for the fire and the loss of innocent lives. The pages were filled with her desperate pleas for forgiveness and her unwavering love for her family. As Ethan delved deeper into the journal, he discovered a hidden compartment. The key he had found fit perfectly into the lock, and as he turned it, a small door opened, revealing a hidden passage beneath the barn. Without hesitation, Ethan descended into the darkness, following the winding tunnels that led him deeper into the earth. The air grew stale, and the oppressive silence weighed heavily upon him. He could sense that he was nearing the heart of the curse that plagued the farm. Finally, the tunnels opened up into a cavernous chamber. The flickering light from Ethan's lantern revealed a scene frozen in time. The spirits of the lost family stood before him, their faces etched with sorrow and longing. Ethan, filled with a newfound understanding and compassion, spoke to the spirits, promising to bring their story to light and seek justice for the lives lost. As he made his pledge, a radiant light engulfed the spirits, and a sense of peace washed over the room. The curse that had gripped the farm for decades had finally been lifted. The lost family could rest in peace, knowing that their story had been told and their memory honored. As for Ethan, he transformed the farmstead into a place of solace and remembrance. He erected a memorial in honor of the lost family and dedicated his efforts to preserving the farm's history. Years passed, and the farm became a haven for those seeking respite from the modern world. People visited to admire the beauty of the restored farmhouse and to pay their respects to the family that had once called it home. And Ethan, forever changed by his experiences, found solace and purpose in carrying on the legacy of the farm, ensuring that the memories of the lost family would never be forgotten.